Solana family, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys know what time it is. We're going to be talking about everything Sol. So if you're enjoying these updates, smash that like button, hit that red subscribe button. We're going to go crazy on the Solana updates, and I need you guys on, board and of course part of the journey. But, Solana community, you guys know, we've been talking about Solana, for such a long time. And, this bull cycle, as I've stated 1,000 times, belongs to Sol. I know people are going to argue with me, this coin, that coin, but in the grand scheme of things, what Solana was able to achieve in this bull market is something that, no project comes close. If you're looking at the DeFi sector, that speaks for itself. So, that's that. As far as Solana's performance goes, it's up 10.1% over the course of the last 24 hours, and over the last 1 week, Sol is up once again 10.3% because, of course, we're coming out of a major correction, and it still has a long ways to go. What are my personal thoughts? I'm going to share my personal thoughts with you guys. Am I happy at the fact that, Solana is going up? No. I'm just going to keep it honest with you guys. I want to accumulate Solana at a cheaper price, and I've been, I don't usually say which coins, I'm keeping an eye out on, this and that, but you guys know I've been accumulating Sol pretty much since $18 to $20, and I will continuously, accumulate Solana because, again, I personally believe in it, and that's my personal opinion. This is not financial advice. So I am not happy at the fact that Solana is moving, but the question is this really the reversal? That's what we're going to be talking about. But before we get into it, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. It's very, very important to note that. The price of Sol right now is $132.34, up 7.3% in Bitcoin comparative as well. Valuation $68.4 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at $4.8 billion. If you're looking at this, guys, we know about Jan Over announcing that they're going to be adding Sol into their treasury, and you can see this for yourself. Jan Over purchases approximately $4.6 million of Solana as a part of new treasury strategy. And again, if you're looking at Jan Over's stock price, it has skyrocketed. So again, demand factor. Solana has that demand factor. A lot happening, and if you kind of compare ETH is nowhere to be seen. Of course, DeFi sector on ETH is much larger because, of course, Ethereum has been in the space for many, many more years. So obviously, that kind of goes unsaid. But with that being said, I think, what Solana is showing, it's showing the threat it has towards Ethereum. And I've said that from day one. Looking at the price now, if you're looking at BTC dominance here, Bitcoin dominance is picking up over the last few hours. We did see the dominance pulling down from 64.8%. You can see this for yourself, and we dropped down, but it is picking up going into Sunday morning. But with that said, BTC is having a complete field day, obviously closing back above $85,000 for the first time since April 2nd. If Bitcoin is continuously able to hold around this range, I think, BTC could start retesting some of the levels we haven't seen for quite some time. Obviously, we're still in this 38.2 Fib zone. The target remains to be the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level, where I turn bullish for this space. Obviously, right now, a lot of people, a lot of people think that, this is a reversal. We are about to see market booming. But again, I look for confirmations, and as of now, I'm still, not over, the tariff situation that's going on. We need to come up with some sort of a resolution. If not, the chances of us seeing a shakeout is still in play based off of my personal opinions. But BTC is in an upward trajectory, so far, I guess, we can't really, deny that fact and obviously accept that. But, dominance showing this much strength, really tells you, in a grand scheme of things, uncertainty is still quite high based off of, the way dominance is currently holding. More money is in BTC. When you do tend to see the dominance pulling down, that usually means that, money isn't really necessarily leaving the crypto space, but it's actually coming out of Bitcoin going into altcoins, and that's when you tend to see altcoins doing amazing. But enough with that, let's take a look at what's happening with Solana. So I want to show you guys Solana's price on the daily time frame. So let's kind of really take a look at where Sol is currently. Of course, Solana breaking below, this 78.6 Fib support line for the first time since last year was quite bearish, without a doubt, right? We went down to 96.9%. I'm sorry, $96. And look at this recovery. Look at this recovery. If you somehow accumulated SOL at that price point, you are up 40%. A 40% increase in such a short span of time. And we're back in the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level above the $130 key resistance. We know about the significance of that zone. But like I said, obviously, so far so good. I'm sure no one's really complaining, but we really need to keep the external news, factor into consideration. So far so good. Obviously, if we continue to see a move towards the upside, if Bitcoin is, continuously moving up and your dominance starts pulling down, I have no doubts that, SOL goes back into the 0.50 and could start retesting some of the levels we saw back in March. But, obviously one step at a time. But yeah, let's kind of go back down memory lane here. So look at this. Last cycle we did see a drop of about 47%. This drop is larger. You can see this for yourself. We saw a 68% pullback for SOL this cycle. So is this really the reversal? We'll see what happens. As far as BTC goes, Bitcoin has not seen anywhere close to what we have seen in the last cycle in terms of pullback. But this time around, of course, the demand factor is much larger for digital assets. So obviously that is something that we need to keep into consideration. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, why is SOL and the likes of some of these other altcoins down so much? Because the dominance, so much money is in BTC. The institutions are accumulating Bitcoin at such a record pace right now, outpacing altcoins. But, Solana, being one of the native tokens, is, one of the coins that is in quite a large amounts of demand. And I do believe, this does go back towards all-time highs, but it's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to obviously take some time because obviously if you want to put this into consideration, you can see this for yourself. That itself is a 126% increase from where we currently are. But for dollar cost averagers, I'm sure they're not really complaining right now because you're literally buying SOL at some of the levels that you haven't seen since last year. So Solana is obviously making a nice move right now, back above some key resistance. Even though it's looking amazing, obviously we need to keep, the external factors into consideration. But so far, so good. Very, very excited to see what happens. I think, quarter four of this year, late quarter three, and obviously quarter four is going to be an exciting time for the crypto space. But let's take it one step at a time. And of course, as you guys know, time is the most important factor, and we'll see how that plays out. But let me know down below what you guys think. What are you guys doing right now with SOL? We'll see you later with Crypto ZX, and peace out.